Scott, the Bellator 257 weigh-ins, the ceremonial face-offs just concluded. Being up there on stage, I mean, what was the buzz? What was the feeling? How excited are you for this card?
I mean, this is going to be a continuation of an amazing tournament. Again, I always feel like the best light heavyweights in the world live here at Bellator, and I'm excited about this event. I'm also excited about May 7th when Rumble fights Joel Romero. But when you look at all those guys, I mean, Phil Davis against Nemkov, that's going to be another amazing fight. I mean, these guys fought, I think it was in Israel 2 years ago, and I think it was a split decision, if I can recall. But that was an elimination fight. That wasn't a championship fight, a title fight. I mean, a world championship fight wasn't on the line. So there's a lot riding because, like I said earlier, like the winner goes forward and the loser goes home. So there's a lot riding on the line, and this is a quarterfinals of a very exciting tournament.
Yeah.
And then with Paul Daly, you never know what you get. I mean, here's a guy. I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna start throwing blows right here. And I told them both at the thing, no one gets paid today, guys. You know, like if you
What were they saying to each other?
Oh, you know.
Words that you don't want
to
repeat.
They're just talking. They're talking a lot. Let's put it that way. A lot of little bombs dropped here and there, and that's a typical Paul Daly weigh-in for the last 5 years, as far as I can remember. So, or even further. I mean, when he fought for Strikeforce, he was the same way. So, he's gonna be talking a lot of mess but listen, that guy always delivers. He's always puts on a great fight. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time, and I wish them both well.
Yeah, and talking to Paul before the fight, he said his future after this fight's kind of uncertain because he doesn't feel like his body can make welterweight anymore. So he said he'd probably either do catchweights, or maybe if it was a title fight or a big lucrative bout, he would take a welterweight fight again. What do you think the future is for him? Do you feel like you guys are comfortable just putting him at catchweights, or do you think that maybe it's time to part ways?
I'll tell you, I can answer that after tomorrow night's performance, right?
Yeah.
Because let's see what we're getting. Which version of Paul Daly are we getting? And listen, if he wants to continue fighting and fight at catchweights, would we find him from time to time? Maybe, or maybe he could find another home. But I think a lot's going to depend on what the fight looks like tomorrow night. Because listen, I know on any given night this guy can perform and he could deliver. He's fighting a tough kid, and let's see the outcome of that fight and how it looks for Paul. But he might want to retire at some point. He's been around a long time, and he's definitely put on some of the best fights in the history of MMA. The Daly Diaz fight in Strikeforce to me was one of my most favorite fights of all time. So to me, that's Paul. We've had a great relationship with Paul, but it's going to be up to him too, because you never know what he's really thinking in his mind. And is he going to go up to 185 and fight? No, I don't think so. Those guys are way too big. Can't make 170. Then maybe we have a business conversation at that point.
Yeah, we just came up on the anniversary of Diaz versus Daly. That was a great fight. It was fun seeing that come back on Twitter and stuff. But I want to ask you too, on the undercard, there's 2 light heavyweight fights, and I was curious, just with the light heavyweight theme, is potential scouting opportunity for you guys for alternates in the tournament? Is that, I know you've alluded to alternate bouts, is that what you think we're dealing with some of these guys on the undercard, Nemkov's brother?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So obviously we wouldn't put Nemkov's brother as long as Nemkov was in the tournament,
sure,
right? But his opponent, that definitely is a consideration. So let's see how they look, and we're going to fight a couple of them off here in the next couple weeks, and then if we need an alternate, we'll go back to the pool.
Cool. Right before the weigh-ins today, you guys announced that MVP is back finally. His visa issues have been resolved. Was that exciting to finally be able to put a poster out with Michael Venom Page on it again?
Yeah, he's an exciting talent. He does stuff that that not too many people can do. And Derek Anderson is a tough kid. So we've been trying to put this fight together, I think, 2 or 3 times, to be honest. And so it's finally going to happen on May 7th, and we're excited. It's going to be, anytime MVP fights, it's going to be an exciting fight.
Anytime there's a Vadim Nemkov fight week, there's a certain aura in the air because that means Fedor is here as well. And I know you said you were planning on meeting with him. Has that meting happened this week yet? Or is
it definitely started. Yeah. And we talked about, timing, logistics, opponents, things like that. But, he is going to go back and talk to, his team and that sort of thing. And we'll probably meet before he leaves or before I leave, and we'll have some clarity. But right now, it's just up in the air right now.
Yeah. And do you think time-wise we'll see him in the next few months? Like, will it be an early, first half of 2021?
I think it'll be in the fall.
Oh, in the fall.
Yeah. In the
okay.
Fall.
Somebody that we haven't heard from for a while is Dillon Danis. Any updates on him? You think we'll see him compete soon?
He was injured for a while, and I think that my guys are in touch with him, and I think that he's going to come back shortly. Yeah. But we don't have a date yet for Dillon.
Jake Paul gets up on the microphone, say he beats Ben Askren and calls out Dillon Danis. What do you think? You think that could be a fight that happens?
Well, they've already reached out and we've had that conversation and I said, this is what I said to him. I said, guys, look, if you want to box Dillon Danis, I think that's great, but then you have to fight him in MMA too on the second fight. This has to be a 2-fight deal. You have to make it equitable for both sides, not just what you guys want from Dillon, because I don't think it's in boxing alone. I don't think it's a fair fight. I think that it has to go and then come to Dillon's world and fight in the cage and see how that works out. So to me, it's a 2-fight deal. If they want to do it, we'll definitely have that conversation.
I know you gave us your early prediction on Paul versus Askren a while back, and things kind of got a little spicy on Twitter. But you sticking by that? Do you still think?
I should have a no comment because Ben got mad at me last time. He was upset that I said what I said. But I will tell you, I've been watching him online, and he looks like he's getting better and better. And listen, I'm rooting for him, because he's the MMA guy, and so to me, I'm rooting for him, and I'll be rooting for him when he fights on Saturday.
What are your thoughts on the Triller model, kind of these kind of entertainment sort of fights? I mean, is there anything? You've been a guy that's always thought outside the box, right? And you're kind of a hardcore too. So there's this butting of heads of like the traditional boxing people, and then these people that are liking the entertainment side. So for you as a promoter, has it kind of changed anything that you're doing, where you're like, now I'm with Showtime Boxing, there might be some options here?
I mean, not really, because when I look at the entertainment aspect of their shows, listen, I think it's great. I watched that first Tyson fight. I was entertained. I thought they did a good job. And if I want to watch sportainment, that's where I'll watch it. It's a completely different show, or completely different requirement, or completely different end result as far as like what does this mean in the world of like combat sports for MMA, and what does it mean for boxing? I mean, if they want the real boxing, they're going to go to Showtime, right? And it's sportainment basically is how I look at it. So to me, hey, I'm a fan. I buy it, and to me, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think people just have to realize it is what it is, and it's fun.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And just swinging back to MMA for a couple others, Jake Hager. Do you think we'll see him soon?
Yeah, I'd love to see him back. I mean, Jake's, I think he took a lot of damage in his last fight, and he's probably getting back in training. But I know my guys will reach out to him. I'm sure he'll fight in the next couple months.
And last week you revealed about the interim heavyweight title that's coming. Shortly after you did that, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, Patricio Pitbull and Patricky were tweeting that they would like you to implement a lightweight interim title. Is that something you guys are considering with Patricio being tied? With them calling for it?
I'll tell you, the difference is, with the Pitbull brothers is like, we have an end date for Patricio's fight. Like we know kind of when it's going to happen. Not the exact date, but we have, what month it's going to kind of fall in, right? And so, whatever happens there, then he could go and defend his lightweight belt probably, early fall if he wanted to. So that's a little bit with Brian Bader. We don't know if he's going to go all the way through the rest of the year, and so we can have a discussion. But right now the focus is on creating that interim heavyweight belt.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Scott, and good luck with the event tomorrow.
Thank you very much.